Silent.
Khan, shalom, shalom, shalom. All praise to the Most High, man. We're back in here for another Shabbat class. Captain Judah gonna have something for you. Of course, we want to remind you again about the Passover, right? Y'all go ahead and get your pens and your notepads together. He got a breakdown class for you this morning. All right. Yeah. And with no further ado, we're gonna get started, man.
All right. All praise to the Most High. We're going over Zechariah 4 today. The name of the class is going to be Christ in the Old Testament, right? Number one, because we got to see Christ in the Old Testament or prophecies of Christ in the Old Testament, but it's going to be called the two witnesses and the rebuilding of the Lord's house. All right, the two witnesses and the rebuilding of the Lord's house. So, Most High willing, everybody gets edified. I learned a lot learning this breakdown, and I just want to reteach it to the people. I'm not responsible for a lot of this stuff that we learning today. We got to give honor to the brothers who studied before us, who gave us these breakdowns and the knowledge that we could pass on to other people because we don't own no precepts. You know what I'm saying? So with that, let's go ahead and start at Zechariah 4.
It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 4, and verse 1. And the angel that talked with me came again and waked me as a man that is wakened out of his sleep. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick of all gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps, which are upon the top thereof.
Salaki. All right. So the 7 candlesticks is the menorah, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it's also signifies the children of Israel and the 7 spirits of the Most High, right? So let's get a precept, Revelation 1 and 20. We're going to get Revelation 1 and 20 just to get some precepts on this.
This is the book of Revelation 1 and 20. The mystery of the 7 stars which thou sawest in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 churches.
All right, so we know this represents the children of Israel. All right, so let's go skip over to Revelation 4 and verse 5. Get another precept for the 7 spirits of the Most High.
Revelation 4 and 5. And out of the throne proceedeth lightnings and thunderings and voices, and there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of the Most High.
So let's go ahead and go back to Zechariah, and let's start at verse 3, and we can keep moving. I had another precept for it, but I don't think this one's gonna go well, so I'm gonna skip over that.
Zechariah 4 and 3. And 2 olive trees by it, one upon the right side of the bowl, and the other upon the left side thereof.
Okay, so the 2 olive trees represent Zerubbabel and Joshua, according to the breakdowns that I've studied. All right, and we're gonna get into that, right? And we're gonna talk about why. All right, so Zerubbabel was the king and governor, and Joshua was the high priest, right? Both of these can represent Yahweh because we know he's both of those. Right? So let's get Isaiah 9 and 6 real quick.
This is Revelation 9 and 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
Let's read the next verse.
Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth forever, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this.
Well, let's get a precept for Yahweh being called high priest, right? So the government shall be upon his shoulders, and we know that, right? So let's get a precept for Yahweh being the high priest, Hebrews 7 and 14. And then we'll go somewhere else after that. As soon as I saw this precept, I thought about that lady we talked to at the old camp spot, going around this precept. Who's going to Hebrews 7 and Hebrews 8, right? When you did that video on the channel called a change in the law, I think. Yeah. Let's get that Hebrews 7 and verse 14. We're gonna read through 17.
For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. And it is yet far more evident For after the similitude of Melchizedek, there ariseth another priest, who is made not after the law of carnal commandment, but after the power of endless life. For he testifieth, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
So this is talking about Christ, right? So let's go to Psalms chapter 110, and we're going to read verse 4. Right? It's saying the same thing. We're just going to read it.
Khan. Psalms 110 and 4. Yahweh have sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
All right. So let's get another precept for the olive tree. Let's go back to Zechariah. Let's go back to Zechariah. Let's read that third verse again, and we're going to get another precept for the olive tree. Just want to read it again so we can get that point.
All right, Khan. This is verse 3. Zechariah 4 and 3. And 2 olive trees by it, one for the right side of the bowl, and the other upon the left side thereof.
All right. Let's go to Revelations 11 and 3. I'm going to read it just to be quick. It says, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before Yahweh, before the God of the earth. Right? So we're going to go back to Zechariah, and we're going to go. So these olive trees are the 2 witnesses. Let's go back to Zechariah. Let's read 4 through 7.
Khan, this is Zechariah 4 and 4. So I answered and spake to the angel that talked with me, saying, what are these, my Lord? Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, knowest thou not what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, saith Yahweh of hosts. Who art thou, O great mountain?
Salakia. Who's that great mountain? That's what we need to find out, right? Now, we got people here, so I'm going to let somebody answer. Who's the great mountain? Anybody got an idea?
Yeah, I was
Nope.
some sort of government.
Now, which one is it? Read that again. That read verse 7. Just stop at the word plain.
Come. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel, thou shalt become a plain.
So it was a great mountain, and now it's going to become a plain.
Right.
Is it Edom? Talking about that he's going to destroy Edom?
Come, Babylon, right?
Yeah.
So let's get the precept. Let's get Jeremiah 51 and 24. Now, some people will say Zerubbabel was Christ. We ain't gonna say that just because we've always been told if it don't say it, we're not gonna teach it. We see why our brothers say that. We just not gonna teach that, right? We're gonna hold fast to what we have. Christ is Christ, and that's that. But we do see representations of Christ in the Old Testament.
That's right.
All right. Let's read that.
This is the book of Jeremiah 51, 24. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith Yahweh. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out my hands upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks and make thee a burnt mountain. I needed that one.
I want to know if I want to read that next verse because it's kind of going into something later.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, please let me read.
Go ahead. Because it's going into what
that's cool.
Because the name of the class is the 2 witnesses in the rebuilding of the Lord's house. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Go ahead.
Verse 26. And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever, saith Yahweh.
Give me your thoughts on that.
Yo, that's heavy. So the Most High letting you know, when I destroy this mountain, it's going to be so desolate, I'm not using none of y'all to rebuild what I'm doing. right? I'm not using none of what you got over here to rebuild what I'm building over here. So that's heavy, man. That's cold. All praises.
Let's get another precept for the mountain. Let's get Isaiah 13, 1 through 6.
John, this is the book of Isaiah 13, verse 1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift up ye a banner upon the mountain, Salakia. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustered the host of the battle.
Go ahead.
They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Keep going.
No, that's it. Right.
Yeah.
So that high mountain that we supposed to lift a banner upon is Babylon. That's why we out here in these corners, bringing the truth out against these governments. Brothers go to the 4th of July rebuke every year. Right. In front of the White House, where the most powerful people on earth, where they are doing they wicked bidding at. Right. And we go out there, the brothers go out there every year and lift up a banner upon that high mountain. Right. So let's go back to Zechariah. You got a precept?
I'm gonna check it real quick.
Okay. Yeah, check it real quick and see. All right. Because this goes into, it's further showing that the Most High is only saving Israel when we get into it. Right. It's just another recap that the Most High is only going to save Israel. Right.
Yeah, Khan, I got a precept just going back to Zechariah. So he was talking about the menorah, right? He was talking about the olive trees. Now we know the menorah is inside the tabernacle. So this is all a reference back to the way the tabernacle was set up. And this is 1 Kings, just showing you that.
What you got? 5?
Chapter 6 and verse 21.
This is 1 Kings chapter 6 and verse 21. So Solomon overlaid the house with a pure gold, and he made a partition by the chains of gold before the oracle, and he overlaid it with gold.
Right. So this is the temple now, which also was made after the fashion of the tabernacle. Go ahead.
And the whole house he overlaid with gold until he had finished all the house. Also the whole altar that was by the oracle he overlaid with gold.
And then verse 23 is the point.
And within the oracle he made 2 cherubims of olive tree, each 10 cubits high.
Very interesting that he made the cherubims out of olive tree wood. Very interesting, bro. But let's keep going.
That's cold. So let's read verse 7 in Zechariah 4 again.
This is Zechariah chapter 4, 7. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel thou shalt become a plain, and he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shoutings, crying, grace, grace unto it.
Okay. Now, who's the headstone?
That's right.
Who is the headstone? The headstone is Christ. We're gonna find that. We're gonna bring that. We're gonna bring that out. Give me Psalms 118 verse 22. This is why that 26th verse in that chapter. This is about the. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
This is Psalms chapter 118 and verse 22. The stone which the builders refused is become the headstone of the corner.
Now, read that next verse too.
This is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes.
And I was sitting here thinking, right? The Pharisees, they wanted to reject Christ. You know what I'm saying? They did reject Christ. They tried to reject Christ. And it's gonna go into it. We're gonna talk about the Pharisees in a minute.
That's right.
Right? But it's like that with life. The people, the one that you counted out, now he's doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Christ's story is really like a representation of all of our story, because Wisdom of Solomon 5, what it talks about, these are the people that we had in derision.
Yeah.
Right now, these are people. The same thing with Christ.
Yeah.
Like they try to reject him, and he was the chief cornerstone, right? He
Right.
was the headstone, right? Let's get Acts 4 and 10. I ain't gonna lie. As soon as I read that, I was like, boy, count me out if you want to.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that came to my mind.
straight
I
up.
don't know why. Right? Let's get Acts chapter 4 and verse 10.
This is the book of Acts 4 and 10. Be it known unto you all and to all the people of Israel that by the name of Hamashiach Yahushua of Nazareth, whom ye crucified, whom the Most High raised from the dead, even by him doth this man stand here before you whole. This is the stone which was set at naught of you builders, which is become the head of the corner.
Come, right? Now, we're going to find out who the real builders are in a second, right? So this is another precept showing that Christ is the head cornerstone. I'm going to get a couple more though. Ephesians 2 and 20. We're going to read through verse 22.
Khan, this is the book of Ephesians 2 and verse 20. Let me start at verse 19, just to get a context.
Come.
Now, therefore, you are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of the Most High, and are built up upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Hamashiach Yahushua himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth up unto a holy temple in the Lord, in whom you also are builded together for a habitation of God through the Spirit.
Now, let's get one more. 1 Peter 2 and 5. We already know this precept, right? Matter of fact, I think I missed something I really wanted to get in there. Hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Go ahead and get that 1 Peter.
Khan, I'm gonna start at 4.
Come.
This is 1 Peter 2 and 4. To whom coming as unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of God and precious. You also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Hamashiach Yahushua.
So the Most High is showing us, right, that we are part of the stones that's for the building of the Lord's house. Christ being the chief cornerstone, because that chief cornerstone is the foundation that keeps everything together, right? That cornerstone gone, the whole building's gonna fall, right? Now, so he made us lively stones for the building of the Lord's house. Let's keep going.
Khan, verse 6. Wherefore also it is contained in the scripture, behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. Unto you, therefore, which believe he is precious, but unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner, and the stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into the marvelous light.
This is how you know this is talking about Israel off the rip, because we can couple that with Deuteronomy 7:6, right? So we are these lively stones for the building or the rebuilding of the Lord's house, right? Now let's get a now. I'm not even gonna do that. Let's go to let me see if I want to get this precept real quick. I don't know if I want to even bring that up. What we talked about earlier. Let's see.
Hey, and Salaki, I want to make this point too, right? While he's looking for that, the headstone is so important because when you build in any structure, you have to have something there to build everything else on. So that's what the headstone represents. So what people who reject Christ don't understand is that they literally can't, their doctrine can't work in no way without having the Messiah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That don't make no sense.
Yeah, this kills the OT only doctrine, in my opinion.
It don't make no sense.
I was restudying this yesterday. I was like, bro, I don't know how people read this. Even if you read it and you didn't understand, there's enough of us showing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You after reading Zechariah 4, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Right? And it's gonna go into this right here. Now, this is the point. right? Or one of the major points. Let's get Haggai 2 and 21. Now, some people say this is a prophecy of Zerubbabel being Christ. I get it. I'm not going to say that. He'll make all things clear when we get there, most high willing. But it's going to show some things, and y'all get it in a second. I ain't about to go ahead.
Khan, this is the book of Haggai, chapter 2 and 21. Speak to Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, saying, I will shake the heavens and the earth, and I will overthrow the kingdoms, and I will destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heathen, and I will overthrow the chariots, and those that ride in them, and the horses, and their riders shall come down, every one by the sword of his brother. In that day, saith Yahweh of hosts, will I take thee, O Zerubbabel, my servant, the son of Shealtiel, said the Lord, and will make thee as a signet, for I have chosen thee, saith the Lord of hosts.
Come. Now, did Zerubbabel overthrow kingdoms?
Nuh-uh.
All right. Did he do any of these things? That's just the question. I don't know. I ain't read it. Right? It says, I will overthrow the throne of kingdoms. I will destroy the strength of kingdoms of the heathen, and I will overthrow the chariots and those that ride in them, and the horses and their riders shall come down. Right? So now we know that Zerubbabel is in the lineage of Christ. We can read that in Matthew 1 and 1. But let's go to 2 Ezra 13 and 25 real quick. Let's just get a little bit more on that. Let's see who's actually going to do these things, right? Let me see. 13. It's a little bit of reading.
Khan, this is the book of 2 Ezra 13, 25. This is the meaning of the vision, whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea. The same is he whom the Most High has kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. Slacky, let me just mark that. Read that. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending.
Now, hold on. Who could this be? Who could this son be that was ascended?
That's right.
Anybody who got an answer?
It has to be
Howard, right?
That's right.
Right. So, hold on. Let's be technical real quick. Is this the New Testament?
Nah.
This would be considered the Old Testament.
Yeah. Facts.
Right? So, it's another OT only. Switch the camera. You. Y'all OT only brothers. Come on now.
Yeah.
Because remember when we did our first groundbreaking way back when.
Yeah.
And we had a brother that came up, and he was a OT only brother. He believed in Christ.
I remember
that.
I remember that. Yeah.
He was an OT only brother that believed in the Apocrypha. You know what I'm saying? He came and supported us. Shout out to that brother. Good brother. Our babies was born at the same time. That's how we met, right? But if this ain't the New Testament, and this will really be considered the Old Testament,
right?
Who is this son that you seen ascending? Who else could this be?
You got to deal with that. And they might try to say it's Elijah, right? But Elijah don't fulfill those prophecies about Zerubbabel neither. And Elijah was a Tishbite. So you can't say that he was from the tribe of Judah. So
see,
yeah, that's a cut.
All right, so let's keep going. Where we at? 33.
Verse 33. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill gaven without hands. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest. And they shall lay before them their evil thoughts and torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto fire.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh.
You're right.
And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osei the king, whom Shalmaneser king of Assyria led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land.
Mm-hmm.
But they took counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt,
Mm-hmm.
that they may keep there the statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs of them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Now let's go skip down to verse. Where you at? Let's go to verse 47.
Okay. 47. The highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace, but those that be left behind of the people are they that are found within my borders.
Mm-hmm.
Now when he destroyeth the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain. And then shall he show them great wonders.
All right. So this is talking about Christ and delivering of his people, right? So we see all of these things are talking about Christ. Now let's go to Revelation 19 and 11. There's about 10 verses in that one too. I ain't gonna lie. Revelation 19, 11. We're gonna read through 21.
Khan, if y'all following, say Khan. If you're not following, say Khan. Khan, if you're not following, say something though, for real. So he can answer the question. All right.
Sure.
All right. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
Mm-hmm.
And in righteousness does he judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written on it that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
And the armies which were in heaven follow him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean.
Mm-hmm.
And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, and with it he should smite the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepresses of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God, that you may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army.
Now this is the same thing that was going into in Second Esdras.
Mm-hmm.
Remember now, Zerubbabel is supposed to be smiting all these great kings and all this, and now you see in Second Esdras it was talking about Yahushua. We got another account. If you don't believe in the Apocrypha, of it happening in Revelation, right? Go ahead.
And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast.
This is your Creflos.
Mm-hmm.
This is your Peter Popoffs. This is your all them people.
That's right.
Who will be staging these, and you're starting to see this more and more on Facebook. These staging of these
fake healings,
and exorcisms. Like these people be, and everybody in the comments, oh, this is the work of the Lord. This is the work of God. Watch what it says at the end of this, because hey, the Most High says the beast and the ones who wrought these great miracles, these fake signs and wonders, are going to go into this lake of fire. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna start back at the top.
Yeah.
And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him,
Mm-hmm.
with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast and them that worship his image.
Mhm.
These both were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone.
Mhm.
And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse,
Mhm.
which sword proceedeth out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
Right. So we know out of it says in Second Ezra the same thing. He didn't have no weapon. His weapon was his mouth.
That's right.
Right. So he did it without labor. Right. So let's keep going. Let's go back to Zechariah. Now we did all that to prove that the things that was written of Zerubbabel
Right.
was talking about Christ.
Right.
Right. So let's read verse 8 in Zechariah 4.
Zechariah 4 and 8. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, the hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundations of this house. His hand shall also finish it, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts have sent me unto you.
Okay, Salaki, read that one more time for me.
The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house.
Mm-hmm.
His hand shall also finish it, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts have sent me unto you.
Now, this is another precept that people will say, see, Zerubbabel is Christ. Because it says that the hand of Zerubbabel started the building of the temple, and his hand will finish.
We'll finish it, right?
Right. Let's go to Ezra 3 and 8. You good. I'll be having to find Ezra my doggone stuff.
All right, Ezra 3 and 8. Now in the second year of their coming unto the house of God at Jerusalem, in the second month, began Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, the son of Josedek, and the remnant of their brethren, the priests and the Levites, and all they that were come out of the captivity unto Jerusalem, and appointed the Levites from 20 years old and upward to set forward the work of the house of the Lord.
Right. Now let's skip over to 1 Corinthians 3 and 16. All right. Yep. Because that was a physical temple in Ezra.
That's right.
Right. But let's go into the spiritual temple.
That's right. This is the book of 1 Corinthians 3 and 16. Know ye not that you are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you?
Read that next verse too.
If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy, for the temple of God is holy, which temple you are.
And I want to get a side note, right? Mm-hmm. We think about why did Yahweh go into the temple and whip the money changers or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
Right? Because they was doing wicked in the temple of the Most High God. Well, the Most High says that we are his temple. Right? So when we be defiling our temples, we should be just as mad. I didn't think about that. It says if you destroy the temple of God, he's going to destroy you. Well, smoking, drinking, drug use. I found out one of my customers died yesterday because she was smoking crack. Didn't even know it. She was so good at hiding it. The Most High is going to destroy you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just how Christ was going in there, low-key destroying them with that whip, it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. So just as mad as Christ was about defiling the physical temple, how mad should you be when you defiling your own temple? Or how mad do you think Christ is? Because when you destroying your own temple, you don't be mad. You doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
How mad do you think the Most High Christ be?
Right.
And then you wonder why we got the ailments and all the different things like that. It's that serious, right? It's that serious. Now let's go to Revelation 11 and 1.
That's the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 1. Mm-hmm. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, rise and measure the temple of God, and the altar, and them that worship therein. Mm-hmm. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not. For it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread underfoot 42 months. Mm-hmm. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth.
Okay, come. So let's read verse 1 again. Salaki.
Verse 1. And there was given me a rod like unto a rod, a reed like unto a rod. And the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of God and the altar and them that worship therein.
Verse 2.
But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. And the holy city shall they tread underfoot 42 months.
So this showing how important the temple is again. The heathen can't even be in the intercourse where the temple is. See what I'm saying? He said, yo, them heathen, they got to stay on the outside.
Right.
See what I'm saying? All right. So now let's go back to 1 Peter 2, just to reiterate that point. Just to reiterate that point.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 4. To whom coming as unto a lively stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of God and precious.
Mm-hmm.
You also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house, a holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Jesus Christ.
So remember, we are the stones that are building up the spiritual house. Men, women, children, we are the stones that's building up that house.
That's right.
Right? Now, let's get a couple more precepts, right? That is, the temple is spiritual as well. Hosea 6:1. And I'm not trying to beat this point down. I just want to make sure, it's understood.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 6, verse 1. Come and let us return unto Yahweh, for he hath torn and he will heal us. He hath smitten and he will bind us up. After 2 days will he revive us. In the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight.
What that sound like?
Resurrection.
The resurrection, right? Okay, now, I don't want to give it away. It sounds like the resurrection, right? I agree. What else? What other conversation, I guess, in the Bible can you point to that sounds like this? After 2 days, he will revive us, and in the third day, he will raise us up. What other conversation did that point to? We're going to get it.
Hey, it remind me of the dry bones.
Explain.
That's another thing, right? Because we was dead, and he's reviving us after a certain period of time.
I mean, I guess you could say Jonah, because he was in the belly of the whale for 3 days. And
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's good.
No,
yeah.
I definitely shouldn't think about that.
All
right. So let's get it. Let's go to John 2:19. That precept where it says that
Let me read it one more time.
Yeah.
This is Hosea 6:2. And after 2 days he will revive us. In the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight.
Who said something similar to that?
Well, I mean, yeah,
That's
right.
That's why as soon as I read it, that's what popped in my mind, right? So let's read John 2 and verse 19.
It's the book of John 2 and verse 19. Yahweh answered and said unto them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up.
Hey, so the children of Israel was like, hey man, after on the third day, he's gonna what it say? He's gonna lift us back up, right? So let's find out, because we are all spiritual builders of this house.
That's right.
Right. So let's get Ezra 1 and 3.
This is the book of Ezra 1 and verse 3. Who is there among you of all this people? His God be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of Yahweh of Israel. He is the God which is in Jerusalem.
Read that one more time, Salak.
Who is there among you of all his people? His God be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of Yahweh of Israel. He is the God which is in Jerusalem.
Right? So whoever's among us, right? And if God is with us, we're supposed to be building the house of the Lord, right? We're not building a physical temple right now. We're building the spiritual temple, right? We're building the spiritual. We're setting the stones of the spiritual house of the Lord.
That's right.
Right? Now let's go to 1 Corinthians 3, and I don't know if I want to start at verse 9. I kind of want to start at because we kind of talked about this yesterday.
Mhm.
Just since we talked about it yesterday, let's start at verse 6 because we low-key
Con.
talked about this yesterday.
Hey, that's right. 1 Corinthians 3:6. I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So then, neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but God that giveth the increase.
Mhm.
Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one,
Mhm.
and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor.
Mhm.
For we are all laborers together with God. You are God's husbandry, you are God's building.
So we are all laborers together, right? So sisters have a place,
Mhm.
you know, children have a place. Y'all got TikTok now. Y'all could be doing the work on TikTok, right? Y'all can't get away. The brothers, we got to do the work of the Lord. We got to study. We got to go on the streets, teach. So I'm ready to start doing prison ministry. I got my homeboy about to teach me how to get in these prisons. It's a lot of different ministries that we can partake of, right? For the help of the building of the Lord's house.
Yeah, that's
right.
right.
Now, let's go back to Zechariah
Mhm.
and let's read verse 10.
Zechariah.
Zechariah 4 and 10.
Yep, Zechariah chapter 4 and verse 10. For who have despised the day of small things? For they shall rejoice and shall see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel with those 7.
Okay, so a plummet is a tool to build with, right? A plummet is a tool to build with. So it says that, it says, for they shall rejoice and see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel with those 7, right? Those 7 mentioned in verse 10 are the 7 spirits of the Most High God.
That's right.
Right, let's go back to Revelation 5 and 6.
Revelation chapter 5 and verse 6.
It's like
Yep.
it defines plumbing as a city. So just like how it says he's gonna be pruning the vineyards.
Yeah.
City, same thing.
Like a sickle?
Yeah, like a sickle basically.
Yeah, con. Right? Let's read chapter 5, verse 6.
This is Revelation 5 and 6. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent forth into all the earth.
Con. So let's get the precept for the 7 eyes. Let's get Sirach 23 and 19. And we all know this precept. If you was on Clubhouse 2-3 years ago,
Man.
the eyes of the Lord. The eyes of the Lord. Anytime a heathen came in on some other stuff, the eyes of the Lord, kick them straight out.
Sirach 23 verse 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret part.
So we know that the number 7 is a number of completion.
That's
So, hey, he has perfect vision, 20/20 vision when it comes to watching the evil that we do, the evil that the nations do, and the good that we do, whatever it may be, right? Let's keep going. Let's go to Proverbs 15 and 3. And it's just going into what I just said. I'm going to read it because it's quick. You can go to Ecclesiastes 12 and 14, right? Proverbs 15 and 3 says, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. So he has perfect vision.
That's right.
Right? He has perfect vision. He has complete vision. Right? The angels and the angels reporting everything back to the Most High God. Right? So he has perfect vision. Now, when they used to say God is omnipresent,
yeah,
we used to be like, man, that don't even make sense. How is one man going? Well, he got a security screen with 100. There's no way. And then we know the Bible is practical.
Come to find out. Yeah.
Come to find out, he got angels and everything watching us at all times, making sure that the Most High know what's up. The angels carry our prayers to the Most High.
To the
God.
Most High. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So we thinking he's omnipresent. He see everything. He hear all of our prayers at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Everywhere at once.
He everywhere.
Yeah.
He is though.
You're right.
I used to tell my girl all the time, bro. Listen, when we was in the world, and I used to let my girl go to the club. I used to stay at the crib. I used to let my girl go to the club. I was never a clubber for real.
Yeah.
And I used to let her go, just have fun with your little friends. I'm the dude. I'm gonna pick you up afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So boom. I used to be like, all right. I told her one time, I was like, all right, you know I got eyes everywhere, so you better make sure you acting right.
Right.
And my homeboys be texting me like, yo, girl in here, these dudes be trying to holler. She
Right.
held it down, though, bro. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
And then my homeboy would go like, I ain't never tell my homies to do it either. It was just my homies. They held it down. They would go up to shorty and be like, you good? She was like, yeah, all right. And she would know, like, yeah, let me go and make sure I'm on point.
Yeah.
Because she gonna tell this dude what's
straight
up. You know what I'm saying? The eyes of the Lord is everywhere. He got his workers out here watching us.
Got watches on every side.
Watches on
They
every
with
side.
us all the time.
They with us all the time. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that brother DeRock.
There's a precept though that talks about like the birds, even the birds, like they'll sit here and be listening in to what we saying.
I won't be surprised.
So they can take it to the Most High. Hey. Like, hey,
we gotta find that.
You ever heard?
You talking crazy?
You ever heard old people be like, "I heard it from a bird"?
I'm telling you, dog,
a little birdie told me.
A little bird told me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A little birdie told me. Yeah, you gotta find that. All right, Con. Give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 14.
Gotta get quick on the sword, boy.
Yeah, man.
All right, Ecclesiastes 12 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
For God shall bring every work into judgment.
How many works?
Every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
So you know he sees all things. One more. Let's get Amos 9 and 8. We almost done with this breakdown.
Con, this is the book of Amos.
Who you got there before me?
Be quick. Right. It's the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Saving that, I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord.
Come on, man. So the eyes of the Lord is everywhere. We just got to, drive that point home, man. You got the precept?
Yeah, it's Ecclesiastes 10 and 20.
We're going to have him read it since the mic up here. Because they probably couldn't even hear you talking earlier.
Ecclesiastes what?
You'll be up here in about 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, man.
Ecclesiastes 10 and 20. Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. For a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which have wings shall tell the matter. Sheesh.
Dang.
So you can't get away.
You good,
right? You can't get away, man.
No,
the Most High got spirits. The Most High got creatures throughout this earth, and somehow, some way, whatever you did in secret is gonna come back around.
That's right. That's right. All right. So let's go to verse 11 in Zechariah. Zechariah 4. We almost done.
Con, this is the book of Zechariah 4 and verse 11, and it reads, "Then answered I and said unto him, what are these two olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick and upon the left side thereof? And I answered again and said unto him, what be these two olive branches which through the two golden pipes empty the golden oil out of themselves?"
Okay, calm. So the two olive trees, right? And Zerubbabel and Joshua, they're pouring oil into the candlestick, which is a menorah.
Yep.
Right, which represents the children of the Most High. So let's just get a couple of precepts for what that oil is. Right. Matter of fact, you got a precept for oil? I'm putting you on the spot, brother. You too. I'm putting both of y'all on the spot. Let's see what y'all got.
Somebody got it. Come on.
Yeah. See, we got children in here. They got to learn. Matter of fact, you too, baby girl. Give me a precept.
Right.
Right. Hey, we got to make sure the kids on point.
I got a precept.
Okay, what it is?
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 20.
Look at that. This first precept I got.
It says, "There's a treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwelling of the wise. The foolish man spendeth it up."
Calm. Right? Read that one more time for me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have him read it. I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have him read it. Proverbs 21 and 20.
Yep. And hold yours if you had one. Hold yours if you had one.
You got one? Okay, calm.
All right, this is the book of Proverbs 21 and verse 20. "There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up."
There's treasure to be desired and oil
in the dwelling of
in
the wise.
dwelling of the wise. I need somebody to find me a precept, and we're gonna get y'all's precepts in a second.
Mhm.
But I need a precept in the Apocrypha that can help me better explain what this oil is in the dwelling of the wise. He got what is it? 5W30 sitting up in there, some Penn's
It's
oil.
stupid. Right.
Well,
What
he
type
got
of oil
castor
we talking
oil.
about? Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all got, vegetable oil in the house. What is this oil? Like, we know what the oil is, right? But I want somebody to give me a precept that's going to better help me understand what this oil is in the dwelling of the wise. Right? And I know I'm being confused, and I already know because the precept that I want it conjoins them together. It makes you kind of understand this verse better, right? Let me find it.
That's good. I ain't forgot this precept. I need this one.
Oil is in the dwelling of the wise. Now check this out. In order to get in the dwelling, you got to come up the what?
You gotta
come up the steps, right?
okay.
That's my clue. That's my clue.
I think I know what you're looking for.
I'm gonna give y'all a couple more seconds. You know what I'm saying? This is why y'all got to come to the school now, so we can, interact, right?
Let's see. Is that what I want? I'm in the right chapter.
You hot?
I'm thinking this is all right.
Yeah.
I got this one. That's good. Though.
You there?
I'm ready for it. Okay,
you were right there, bro. You looking like right at it.
I'm looking at it and I can't see it. Hold on. It's got to be right here.
Nope.
Because I know what this is. I don't see the oil though, so I'm gonna let you get this.
Oil ain't in there.
Oh, okay, Con. So you want 6 and 36?
Go ahead, read it out.
Yeah, Con. This is all right. Chapter 6 and verse 36. If thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy feet wear the steps of his door.
Right. So in order to get in the dwelling, where the oil is, you gotta go up the steps.
Yeah.
Right. So when you Lord have mercy, I'm tired of this. I'm so sick of this.
Yo, that's wild.
Say a certain word.
Yeah, we gotta figure out how to get that off.
Gotta
That's
go,
crazy,
bro. Because there's too many colors in there. It's 2024. We don't want them colors on the screen.
Right.
Like them Uno cards. Right. So boom. It says when you see a man of understanding, let your feet wear the steps of his door. Read that verse in Proverbs again, 21 and 20.
God, Proverbs 21 and 20. There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise.
So go ahead.
Oh, I see what you did.
Okay, let's go. Let's get your dad to read it.
I got it first. I told him that he went to it.
All right, let's get it. What is it?
All
right, I'm gonna read it for you.
I mean, Matthew 25, 9, Matthew 25, 8 and 9.
8 and 9.
Yeah.
All right.
You 12, right?
Yeah.
About to be 13?
Yeah.
And we got 12-year-olds in here bringing out precepts, man.
Right.
Y'all got to get it together.
Yeah, facts. This is the book of Matthew 25, verse 8. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out.
Now, this is a parable.
Ooh, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. I like that one.
That's good.
Verse 9. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourself.
Now, hold up. The wise had the oil.
That's right.
That's another. That's a good one. That was good. That was good. That was good. All right. See? Okay, then. So, boom. Right? You got to go into the dwelling of the wise to receive the oil. Now we got to figure out what this oil is. Right? So, boom. Let's go to Isaiah 61 and 1. We got about 1, 2, 3, 4 precepts just to prove what this oil is.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 61 and verse 1. The spirit of the Most High is upon me, because Yahweh have anointed me to preach the good tidings unto the meek. He have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn. Excuse me. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, and the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified.
So we know the oil gives you joy. The oil keeps you happy, right? Let's go to Ecclesiastes 9 and 8, because we still talking about the oil, but we haven't really caught what it is yet. So let's go there. Let's go there.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 8. Let thy garments be always white, and let thy head lack no ointment.
Okay. All right, cool. That's cool.
Mhm.
Let's go to Sirach 39 and 26.
Book of Sirach, chapter 39 and 26. The principal things for the whole use of a man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly. So to the sinners they are turned to evil.
Okay, now I skipped 2 precepts that was going to drive this home, but I think that was on purpose. That was the Lord.
Okay.
Let's go back to Psalms 104 and 15. I was like, hold up, that didn't what we didn't even figure out what the oil is. I skipped 2 precepts. That's my bad. Psalms 104 and 15.
Psalms chapter 104, verse 15. And wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face to shine, and bread which strengtheneth man's heart.
So this is all talking about, what the Most High does. Starting from verse 14, it says, he causes the grass to grow for the cattle and the earth for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth, and wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face shine, and bread which strengthens man's heart. Okay, so the oil makes the man's face shine. This is going to drive it home. This precept is the one that's going to drive it home. Let's get Ecclesiastes 8:1. And now we're about to see what the oil is. So the Most High made me skip them 2 precepts just to end on this.
To come back with this.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes 8:1. Who is the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed.
So in Psalms 104 and 15, it says that the oil makes the man's face shine. What is now the oil?
His wisdom.
Wisdom, right? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. When we see the brother, the elder from, I knew what this precept meant when I seen the elder from Mount Zion 144 for the first time. What's his name? Salakia. I don't forgot the elder's name.
Elder Karash?
That's the one from Mount Zion, right?
Yeah, Khan.
I seen him for the first time. His face was literally shining.
Yeah.
Now he might have put some legit oil on his face.
Yeah.
But every time you see him, he has some type of glow about
it's an energy. Yeah.
There's something about that dude. Like, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But that wisdom, man, all of them years being in this truth, staying down for the truth, man, it radiates off of brothers. You can tell. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, Salaki, I be feeling the same way about a lot of the elders. One of my favorite elders that I saw that exact same thing. 2 of them by name, Elder Barak.
Yep, I was gonna name him, bro.
Elder Barak, and then Elder Priest Kahan.
Yeah,
from
Priest
LOZ.
And I've never seen him in person.
Yeah.
But you can tell off the camera. I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm telling you, they just got a spirit about them where it's like, oh yeah, we about to eat today. Like,
yeah, like for real.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man. Right. So we're gonna wrap this up with the last 2 verses in Zechariah 4, verse 13 and 14.
Khan, this is the book of Zechariah, chapter 4, 13. And he answered me and said, knowest thou not what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then he said, these are the 2 anointed ones that stand by the Lord of the whole earth.
Right. And this is just a representative of Yahweh and the word of truth.
Mm.
Right. So Zechariah 4 is just going into pretty much the rebuilding of the Lord's temple, right? The two witnesses and the rebuilding of the Lord's temple. Us getting this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? And Yahweh being that chief cornerstone for the rebuilding of the Lord's house, physically and spiritually, right? So that's all I got. You got anything before we wrap it up?
I don't want to say the last words, but I wanted to just say it's heavy. And we did a breakdown on the menorah before.
Mhm.
He got a question, but hold on. We did a breakdown on the menorah before. What is the menorah? The menorah is a lampstand, so it's light, but it represents a tree, right? So you got one symbolism of the tree or the olive tree, and then you got one symbolism of the lamp, right? So the light of the world and the tree that brings forth fruit, right? So it's super heavy. That's an excellent breakdown, bro. Like,
All praises.
So we was just talking about how like when you have the wisdom and about the oil and how like your face was shining. It reminded me of when Moses came down from the mountain, his face was shining. And
right.
So I have
Excellent.
Exodus 34:29 through like 30.
All right, Exodus 24, 29, and 30.
Exodus 34:29 through 30.
All right, Exodus 34, 29. So I'll read it for him.
Okay.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 34, and starting at verse 29. And it came to pass that Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the two tables of testimony in Moses' hand. When he came down from the mount, that Moses wist not that the skin of his face shined while he talked with him. And when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shined, and they were afraid to come nigh him.
That's right.
So that oil and that wisdom is what? The law.
That's right.
Because if he went up there and got the law, and his face was shining, then we know what that
lets
wisdom
you
is.
know. Exactly.
It lets you know, right? So with that, man, this is showing you multiple things. The rebuilding of the Lord's house, who the children of Israel are. You see now, even in the Old Testament, it's continuing to say the children of Israel are these lively stones. Yahweh, a representative of Yahweh being in that Old Testament, right? Because when you see that Zerubbabel didn't do all these things and you go into the future prophecy, that it is Christ, then you see that Christ is mentioned in the Old Testament, which we seen that in Sirach.
That's right.
Right? And or Second Ezra, Salaki. And you see that the rebuilding of the Lord's house is only for the saints, which are the Israelites, right? So I hope somebody got something out of that. That's all I got. Con. Hey, so with that, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Come to class, 1530 Woodmere Drive, Greensboro, North Carolina, 27405. All right, and we appreciate it. We're going to sign off. Shalom.
Shalom.
Salutations.